Hey Mountain Movers, Kyle Potts, General Superintendent, Skanska USA Building. I'm excited to be able to present to you. I'm certainly happy Kevin reached out to me when I saw him and said, why don't you give this a shot and do a video? I think people would really like to hear from you. And so I'm very honored to be able to do this, and certainly the distinguished group of people, it humbles my heart to be included with this group. I found the videos that have posted to be both motivational and entertaining, so well done to everyone who's done this thus far. I'm actually recording here from DFW Airport, specifically the high sea gates. This coincidentally was one of my favorite projects over my 25-year career. We had actually completed this back in 2022, and I was fortunate enough to be the lead superintendent over the whole operation. Those that don't know, it was a new delivery concept where we utilized the module systems, where we moved sections of the entire structure across the active runway just outside of me here over the course of 2 weeks. The whole schedule took about a year and a half. However, those 2 weeks were certainly instrumental in the success of this project. One cool thing that I've seen is how this delivery system has been replicated by airports such as Portland. I know Skanska did a project up there where we did the same delivery system. Atlanta, I just saw Holder had a very successful module move over there. I was happy to see that. And then upcoming here at DFW Airport, we have multiple contractors utilizing the same delivery system. So it was very cool to be a part of the first one here in the United States. With that being said, one thing, and when Kevin asked me to speak on this, try to come up with a topic in which you feel like would be useful to the people in the audience. And the one thing, and not to bring everybody down, but I want to talk about suffering. And I want to talk about suffering and perseverance and why we should rejoice in suffering. Oftentimes I think people look and ask, why does God allow bad things to happen to good people? If he's so powerful, why doesn't he fix it? Why does he allow this to occur? And I think that in the suffering, we start to realize that that's actually what brings us to success. That's what makes us the people that we are. I'm sure you ask anybody that's gone through something and they've gone through it successfully, they're a better person for it. So I know Romans 5, it says, we rejoice in sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, and character produces hope. I think that word's it best as I was going through, looking for backup certainly for this presentation. An example from my life, it's difficult to talk about, but I go back to age 12, obviously a preteen. I was getting ready to start middle school at the time, and my grandfather actually passed away from cancer. This was significant, one, because obviously most grandfathers are a joy to their grandchildren, and so was he. This was my second grandfather that had died, because the other one had passed away about 9 years early, so I never knew him, and so this was the last one, obviously, of that generation for me. A few months later, I find out my parents are getting divorced, and then because of the divorce, it then estranged much of my family. It was not amicable. It was certainly a lot of internal battles with the family, and unfortunately then I wasn't able to see a lot of my family after that. Arguably the worst year of my life. It was one that I certainly don't want to live through again, but I often now think about it and I look back and I think, as I've grown older, that was probably a thing that helped me become the person that I am. At the time, I was the oldest of our siblings. So I had to become the person that was the leader. I was the one who was forced to decide, which parent to live with, who we were going to celebrate holidays with, who we were going to go to see on certain occasions throughout the year. And it obviously made it difficult. We are faced with difficult decisions, certainly in a business aspect and out on construction sites. But to be placed into that scenario at the age of 12, I think it certainly formed me into the person I am. And quite arguably helped me become the person out on a project site, in the business boardrooms, in order for me to take the emotion out and recognize that I'll never have a scenario where it will be that bad. I will be able to get through it. And I've had some very difficult decisions. We certainly had a bunch that the team had to on here. And we were very successful in most of those. And you can obviously see the product here behind me. So It's definitely something that I would not want to wish on somebody else. But in retrospect, I think that it certainly helped me become the person I am today. Since joining Skanska, I've been able to serve on numerous boards. I've obtained numerous degrees, and quite honestly, going for my doctorate now from Purdue. And I look back and I think that phase of my life truly helped me become the person that I am today. And so I'm happy to have lived through that. Yet at the same time, it included suffering that was something I certainly did not appreciate. I'll say this in closing: if you are going through a period of suffering, especially those in the construction industry and those in the military that may be following me, those are two industries that are very difficult, very high stress, very demanding. We got into it for a reason and we enjoy it, but there are times in which the stress does become excessive. So if you're in that scenario, please reach out to whatever organization you may have there locally. I suggest religious groups, and then there's also the 988 national hotline here in the United States. Reach out to somebody, and if anything, if you feel like you don't have anyone and you're following me, send me a note. I'll try to help you as much as I can. I'm certainly no expert. However, I would like to be able to help somebody that may be going through a phase of their life that they need it. In closing, I want to thank Kevin. This has been exciting to help put this together. My family helped me do this and suggested it, and as I've gone through this, there's been a lot of retrospect and certainly some enjoyment, yet also a reminder of some of the suffering that helped me become the person I am. As always, keep moving mountains, mountain movers.